Good day everyone, I'm Anak, Agung, Sagung, Istri, Nadia, Maharani, from Taman Rama Intercultural School Civic Debate Team. And I'm the first speaker for the proposition. Today, I firmly support this motion. This House believes that funding the exploitation of water is more educational than funding the exploitation of space. Let's be clear. Education is not about chasing fantasy. It's about learning what matters, solving what's urgent, and building a smarter world. And for that, our oceans are the best classroom we've been ignoring for the past few decades. Start here. Over 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. Yet, more than 80% of the world's ocean remain unexplored, according to the US National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, in 2021. Let that sink in. We know more about Mars than we know about our own seabeds. That's not just strange, it's dangerous because oceans are not just water. They're systems that sustain all life. They provide over 50% of the world's oxygen, according to United Nations Ocean Conference. And they also absorb over 30% of all carbon dioxide produced by humans. And they help regulate global climate change. If we want to understand climate change, we start with the oceans. If we want to solve food shortage, we start with the oceans. If we want to protect the earth we live on, and not the one we imagine on the telescope, we study the oceans. Now, let's talk about education. Ocean exploitation is more than marine biology. It's also chemistry, physics, environmental sustainability, engineering, data science, and even medicine. According to the research published in the journal Marine Drugs in 2009, deep sea organisms such as sponges and bacteria have produced chemical compounds that show strong potential in healing cancer, bacterial infections, and inflammations. Some are even undergoing clinical trials. This is real life-saving education, not a hypothetical theory from light years away ago. Meanwhile, the cost of gaining this knowledge is far more accessible. NASA's budget for 2024 was $27 billion, with the Artemis moon missions expected to cost over $93 billion by 2025. Compare that to the mere of $50 million spent annually on ocean exploitation by NOAA. That's less than 0.2 of NASA's funding. And for what? For learning about environments we may never reach in our lifetime. The educational return on investment is overwhelmingly in favor of the ocean. The ocean science can be taught in schools using local data, real-time monitoring, and even simple tools. Students can test water quality, observe marine life, and even participate in citizen science. That's hands-on, inclusive, and empowering. Space science, on the other hand, often says theoretical unless you're an elite institution with an access to expensive telescopes or simulations. Now, the opposition might say, but what about the technology space gives us? Satellites, GPS, and even space pens. Sure, but let's remember this. Ocean research also drives innovation. Sonar, underwater robotics, tsunami early warning systems, renewable energy from waves and tides, and even new antibiotics. In fact, scientists at Scripps Institution of Oceanography and other institutions are using marine microbes to fight multi-drug resistant bacteria. This is not just educational, it's transformative. And here's what matters the most. Ocean exploitation teaches how to respond to climate emergencies happening right now. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change IPCC 2023 has warned us that oceans are heating up, sea levels are rising, marine life is dying off, and coastal communities are increasingly vulnerable. We cannot afford to be blind to this. Space exploitation might inspire us, but ocean education equips us. If education is about understanding the system we live in, then what is more urgent than understanding the system that gives us food, air we breathe, oxygen or whatever, and climate stability. Let's stop pretending we're preparing people to live on Mars when most of them don't understand the tides or the reef to protect their own coastlines or the fisheries their families possibly depend on. So, in conclusion, I believe that funding the exploitation of water is more educational than funding the exploitation of space because it teaches us how about the earth and not fantasy because it gives us knowledge about how to save lives, not just headlines, because it prepares us how to solve crises we're facing now, not the ones we might face in another galaxy someday. Education must serve the people, and to serve the people we must have to start with the world they live in. Thank you.